Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. In today's video, as the title has already given away, I'm going to be talking to you about Corp Airline Manager. Often shortened to just Corp, this game about managing an airline has been created by Kishmish Games, a developer with a quite eclectic mixture of action, adventure, simulation, and horror games under their belt. In spite of that, even within, in spite of this variance, even within their game catalog, Flycorp is, it's safe to say, stands out, stands out quite a bit. So what is there to say about this game? What makes it distinctive? Well, as its full title develops or reveals, the player takes on the role of an airline manager and has to make sure that the airline they are in charge of managing ends up running as smoothly and as successfully as it can. In order for that to happen, the player will have to make sure that the passengers who want to use the airline can go to whatever destination they choose to. Failure to do so will result in one or more overcrowded airports and the airline itself being shut down and the player losing. In order to prevent that, you as the player character have to establish routes, upgrade the planes flying those routes in order to make sure that they can fly, make sure they have higher speeds and bigger carrying capacities, and upgrade the airports as well in order to make sure that they can handle more routes and more passengers. In real life, I think local aviation authorities would handle airports, not the not the airlines that use them, but you know what, artistic license, I'm just gonna let that slide. Be warned though that each of these actions that are necessary to progress the game, setting up new routes, upgrading both planes and airports, will cost money, and you will have to keep at least some money in reserve in order to counter the random events that the game can throw at you. What kind of random events? Well, I won't go into details here because spoilers. That is something that you will have to find out for yourselves. If you are, if you haven't already played the game and still want to play it. If anything I've said about this game so far sounds interesting to you, then I pretty much have to say I have no problem recommending that you do in fact go ahead and play it, because it is very easy to just pick up and play, and within its quite simple setup of pick up and play, there is actually a lot of variety in terms of what it is you can do and what decisions are at your disposal. Not to mention all of the random events that do come up do add a lot of quite a bit to the game and change the dynamics at play to a sizable degree, making it more interesting to interact not just with the mechanics of the game, but also with the world itself. There are other aspects of the game that make it interesting aside from just the gameplay. Chief among them being the presentation and the sounds of the game. The presentation is quite simple and has a great overview, but it is all topped off with a very interesting and uniform visual design that really allows you to to immerse yourself within the setting as it is presented. The sound cues and the various music also play their part in giving the game its own distinctive flair. If there is however one thing I have to comment on, namely the fact that this variety, while a strength of the game, is also quite deceptive. If you're going on a long enough play session, or even if you're going through several shorter play sessions, you are very likely to find that at least that the events that the game will throw at you will end up repeating themselves quite a bit, because this game, it kind of runs out of features before it runs out of functions. It doesn't really have enough to really stretch out its appeal over over the longer gameplay sessions that it has at its disposal. And while I have mentioned that it has unique design elements in terms of visual design and sound design, those do little to really alleviate that repetitiveness that I'm talking about. The game doesn't really know how to set you in that in a flow state, in a state that really allows you to get fully lost within it. There is also the fact that because of these random events, the gameplay difficulty isn't always quite consistent, and you could call that a feature because it always keeps you on your toes. But given it is more or less marketed as an idle game, and by idle I mean IDLE, idle, as in you can play it idly, well then having random spikes of difficulty doesn't really work in its favor now, does it? Still, I have to say that I can't really say that you should turn away from this game entirely. It still has some interesting features about it. Overall, while I am quite entertained by this game, and I think it has a lot to offer for casual players. When it comes to going just that little bit deeper, you find that it doesn't really have enough for prolonged sessions, repeat sessions, or for challenge seekers in general. My final rating for Corp Airline Manager is a 3 out of 5. And that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please leave a like, maybe even share this video wherever you think other people will like it as well. If you have anything you'd like to add to this review, either to the game or to my presentation style, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. I also have a main channel where I talk about book-related and literature topics, a link to which you will find in the description down below. Right past all of my social media links, which I would suggest you check out, should you choose to. Also in the description you will be able to find my Patreon link, in case you want to support me more directly, and maybe even receive certain perks, such as early access to videos or access to my video scripts. Not just for this channel, but for the other one as well. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.